Hello everyone, this is Supersnoopy here, back with another SWTOR Republic video. Today I have for you guys another SWTOR Republic guide video. In today's guide video, I'm just going to be going over something that I kind of want to go over for quite a while when it comes down to SWTOR Republic guides. And this guide is going to be about, keeping subscriber benefits when you're unsubbed. This is just going to be a guide for the weekly operation passes, just collecting them. Then the artifact stuff, the cartel market, all these things that you're going to need if you decide to unsub for a certain amount of time when you're playing SWTOR Republic, because there are some restrictions and then you can bypass those restrictions if you get certain things. So I hope you guys enjoy this SWTOR Republic guide video. And as always, if you guys enjoy these videos, then make sure to leave a like. And if you guys want some nice gaming glasses, then check the links around below. No scope gaming glasses, but yeah. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the guide. Alrighty guys, let's get into the guide right now. So as you know, in SWTOR Republic it is possible to subscribe and unsubscribe to the game itself. Now there's a lot of things that people decide to do if they decide to unsub to the game, or actually unsub from the game. So these are just going to be a few of the things I just want to go over. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is, if you plan on unsubbing but you still want to play every now and then, or you just want to get a feel back into the game and whatnot, then I would highly recommend, leveling a bunch of your tunes up to level 65. Just get them all set up if you don't want to deal with the reduced XP and all that different stuff. So, like I said, just get some level 65s if you haven't already. The other thing you're going to want to do if you're still subbed and you're about to unsub is you're going to want to get a ref link from someone, and then you're going to want to use it. Now, the reason behind this is you actually get mail. I believe you do actually get some mail that gives you, an extra inventory space, or actually one full bar of inventory space, so that's extremely useful. I believe they give like an extra crew slot. So if you are unsubbed and you do need that, then that will be possible to obtain. Like I said, the Friends of SWTOR Republic, the little program that they released, it does help you quite a bit if you actually decide to use someone's link. So if you want to do that, you want to get some extra perks when you're unsubbed, and that's pretty useful. And also, the other thing I'm gonna want to go over is the Cartel Market versus the GTN. Now, what a lot of people love to do is when they're unsubbing to the game, or unsubbing from the game, and they want to still do operations and stuff, they want to get the weekly operation passes. Now, if you go to the GTN here, for example, I'm currently on the Ebon server. You can just look up weekly, and you can tell that if you just search by the prices, that these weekly passes for operations are, they are 550k, and if you aren't subbed to the game, then there is a credit cap, which can prohibit you from actually buying that stuff. Now, what a lot of people do is they like to buy these weekly passes, and then when they're actually subbed, so they don't have to actually waste some extra cartel coins, because you actually have to pay cartel coins if you want to go more over the cap for a certain amount of time. So what a lot of people do is they actually don't want to, use those things, because they feel like it's kind of worthless. Right here, as you can tell, you can just go ahead and just see that there's the transfers, and people don't want to use these when they're unsubbed. So what a lot of people do is they, of course, just go ahead and then they go to the GTN. When they're subbed, they have a lot of credits, and then they start buying these weekly passes. So one thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stack up on tons of credits. And then when you have tons of credits, usually if you have, a couple million credits, you're going to want to start buying tons of weekly operation passes. Now, not only that, you're going to also want to get some specific things when it comes down to the unlocks. Now, something you're going to want to get right here is, you can tell, like, people do have these customization control things. So if you don't get something from the Friends of the SWTOR Republic bundle thing that I mentioned earlier, then you can just go into the GTN and just buy that stuff. So if you want to, for example, just display character names, if that's not in the bundle, because honestly I don't remember what's in the bundle, I just know that there's still some stuff available that can help you out. But if you do want to, to be able to display your character titles, that's an option you can just buy right here for 250k, and then displaying legacy name and title, that's also 250k. So if you do want that when you're unsubbed, then you can just go ahead and unlock that. And then not only that, we do have the crew skill assignment slots, and you will get one of these, I believe, when it comes down to, of course, just say setting something up when you're unsubbed, or when you get it from the Friends of the SWTOR Republic bundle. So you'll have one of these, I believe so. So not only that, we have access authorization. So if you want to go to Section X when you're unsubbed, then you will likely have to buy one of these from the GTN. Then you have the inventory stuff. Just have a bunch of different stuff here, and obviously you're gonna want to get these all these different options. So if you want it for your account, you can get that right there. But yeah, it entirely depends on what server you're on when it comes down to getting all this different stuff. Now, one thing that's extremely important when it comes down to it is the the artifact equipment authorization. I believe that's what it's called. So let's just go ahead and just see if we can find it right here on the GTN. Yep, there's one right there. So this only works for the one player character. But when you equip this, or not really equip this, but when you access it, it allows you to wear stuff that's purple. For example, this earpiece right here. So if you plan on still doing operations or doing Warzones and stuff on a certain tune, then you're gonna definitely want to buy that. Currently, there's one on the GTN on my server, the Ebon Hawk. That's 5 mil, but it entirely depends on what server you're on and what you're doing. So that's that stuff right there. So for the most part, when it comes down to getting unlocks before you're unsubbing, just try to get as many as you possibly can. And that's just kind of what it comes down to. You're just going to want to get unlocks for your tunes. Just get them all set up with that stuff. So if you ever, plan on, say, coming back to the game and you don't want to sub just yet, you just want to, do operations and nothing else, then you can just, just stack tons of weekly operation passes. And then if you don't want to be sub for a certain time, you just want to do operations and nothing else, then you can just have all those ready to use, and then you can just constantly play operations without being sub to the game. Now, even then, likely, like I said, people will sub again if they just want to play the game again. So if you do want to play the game again, then these, I would say, unlocks won't matter too much since you'll be sub to the game again. But if you ever unsub again, then these will still stay to your account. So it's extremely useful if you decide to unsub at a certain point, because at the same time, you can just access some things that you couldn't originally. Now, that's with the GTN stuff. So clearly, you do need to get tons of credits, and there's many different ways to actually get credits. A lot of people would like to, play the GTN. But yeah, I did make a guide on playing the GTN. I just haven't gotten around to actually doing it myself. I know that there's a lot of other people that have actually done it, and then they just have tons of millions of credits, so that's pretty cool. And then you can also do dailies. You can just craft stuff for people to sell to them. Yeah, there's many different ways you can actually get credits in the game. So if you want to do that, then that's completely up to you. And then you can buy stuff off the GTN. And then once you do that, you'll be all set with getting people, or rather getting yourself, all these different unlocks to help you. Now there's another option right here that a lot of people use as well, and that's the Cartel Market. Now, what a lot of people do is they actually save their cartel coins. Currently, with myself, I don't really save my cartel coins. And a lot of people like using the security key and then the subscription and then, the ref links, because that gives you tons of cartel coins. So once you get all those cartel coins, a lot of people like saving them up, or they like spending some money on cartel coins. And then once they get those cartel coins, they just kind of leave them here. Now, if you do want to actually, use cartel coins to buy stuff, that's also extremely useful. So one thing I would mention right here is you're just going to want to click the Unlocks tab. And then you'll see that there's all these different unlocks right here. So some of them are useful for you, some of them really aren't. It just entirely depends on what you want. As you can tell, the prices are high for some things, they're low for others. And then you can just sell, or you can actually not sell, but you can tell right here that we have, authorization for the artifact equipment. So say I were to buy this right here, you can just see that can be purchased for all characters on the account. So if you do have tons of cartel coins, then that can be extremely useful as well. But as you can tell, if you don't have enough cartel coins, then it will give you this error message right here. And then you do have to add coins, so we're just going to cancel that. But even then, you can actually unlock this stuff for all tunes. So if you do want to do that, that's also extremely useful. So we do have those options right there. So if you do want to keep a certain unlocks, and you don't want to, go back to the game, just have tons of restrictions, that's also extremely useful. So we do have that stuff right there. We do have equipment. We have all this different stuff right here. But yeah, the weekly passes right here are also extremely useful when it comes down to, not being sub to the game. So if you do want to get these weekly passes, you can tell that they're 240 cartel coins. So if you save them up and you don't want to spend money on cartel coins, then you can just buy them from right here. As you can tell, you're actually using a pass will unlock operation access for a period of 7 days. And once you do that, you can obviously consume it, and then it gives you 7 days to your account so you can actually access operations. Now, what I hear a lot of people do is they usually get, the weekly pass for operations and then the war zones right here. I don't really know if people still get, the space mission stuff. I know that people still also like Starfighter because people like the Starfighter game mode. So if you want that, that's also extremely useful right there. You can actually get 180 days right here for tons of cartel coins. So if you do have those kind of cartel coins, you've just been saving them up for a long time, then that can be also useful. So I mean, we do have all these different weekly passes right here. And then we do have the extra stuff for the fleet passes, the single use. We got the medical probes, we got the quick travel. We have all of that different stuff right there. Now if you do want to spend cartel coins on that, or you do want to buy on the GTN, that's also useful. But I mean, it really comes down to if you have a lot of cartel coins and a lot of credits. I mean, honestly, there are there's actually tons of cons when it comes down to unsubbing from Star Wars Republic. But even then, I understand that sometimes people don't want to play the game, or they just, have an off month where they just get kind of bored, but they still might want to come back and do operations. But yeah, this is a guide for people that want to do that, and this can also be potentially a guide for people that just don't want to sub. Even then, I understand that some people don't want to sub to the game, but they still want to get some different stuff. So those are some of the options right there, but you do have to understand that once you are no longer subscribed to the game, then you do get that credit cap, which can become an issue when it comes down to getting stuff. So that's just my personal tip right there, is just to try and be sub for a month and just try to get tons of credits and then start buying all the unlocks, then getting tons of weekly passes. And then once you get all those weekly passes and you just want to play every now and then just with your friends and stuff, and you get kind of, a bit bored of Star Wars Republic and you decide to unsub, that's also an extremely useful option right there. Because even then, I felt like this would be a really good video. I always kind of thought about it for the past few months, just actually making a guide video on it. Because I understand that, like I said, I mean, a lot of people say they just kind of play the game, but at the same time, they do get bored for a month or two. And then they're just like, I might come back for a day or two just to play some operations and stuff with my friends. What is the best option to do that without subbing? And that's just kind of my tips for just getting all those unlocks. Like I said, it's completely optional, but even then there's tons of restrictions when you're no longer sub to the game. I just felt like it would be good to make a guide just all on this different stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Star Wars Republic guide video. As always, if you guys enjoy these videos, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.